Christmas Eve, we're going to ease out here. Water clarity's been good. We haven't had any rain the past few days. It's a little bit cold, a little on the cold side. It's early, but we're in the, what they call it, the waning moon. So it's supposed to be when the fish are biting bass. We had a full moon a couple of days ago. But came out yesterday, and the silver edition of this GoPro actually stopped working right in the middle of the fishing trip, which was a shame because I'd caught some pretty good fish. So anyway, we have gotten the new GoPro Black, and this will be the first trip out with it. So let's see if we can catch some more of those nice sized bluegill that we were catching yesterday. Since the water clarity is good, I'm going to go with this. It's a little more natural presentation. I may have a little bit off center, but it looks like it's all right. Biggest thing I'm worried about is them biting the tail off of it. So let's ease this along low, see if we can figure out where the fish are in this water column, and go from there. That's a nice fish there. Obviously a bass. Pull me right up in here. Yep, good bass. A lot of stuff to get hung up on. We'll get him up here at the boat before he gets us broken off. There we go. Even on the smallest of baits, you present it right, catch nice fish. Let's let him go back in there. We'll catch him again another day. Well, since that bass pulled us in there and kind of messed that spot up, got to move on down the edge of the lake, but it was worth it. Nice fish on a 5.5 foot. This is a light action rod. I don't really buy expensive rods because you lose them, you break them, and no one is giving them to me. This is a Shakespeare Walmart edition, obviously, and came with the same reel, Shakespeare. But I've had this reel for about 15 years, and it doesn't fail me. It's about time for some service on the inside of it, but all in all, I mean, it's a nice reel. So let's keep moving around the edge. Working at this area of the lake is a little bit more shallow. I expect the fish to be a little bit deeper. That fish was probably in about 4 feet of water. There's a deep cut right there he was sitting in. Another thing I found pretty valuable, ordered this from a place called Backwater Paddles. Very handy when you get in here tight, especially fishing with these ultralights. You get hung a lot, and it's easy with one hand kind of steer yourself around and moving there tight. I just got hung on a big stop right there and was able just to ease into that spot and get my rod on the other side of it and get loose without having to retie. Or you keep pulling on it, snatching on it, you're either going to bend your hook, and even if you get it off, you probably should retie because you've done a lot of damage to your line. So the little paddles come in really handy. Let's move on down here to some deeper water. Figures. All right. A real hard fighting fish. Looks like just a little dink bass right here. Yep. Little dinker sitting right on the bottom. And away he goes. An auto release function. Won't find that on very many of these. That little bass, a lot of times you can tell the smaller bass, whenever he grabs it, he'll take off running sideways with it. I guess getting out away from the bigger fish. The larger ones seem to just grab it and either sit, or they might come to you a little bit sometimes. But that little one is almost immediate. He grabbed it, took off sideways. Probably not more than about 8 inches long. This little alligator here. Small gators, you don't have a lot of snakes. If you got a lot of small gators, or at least one or two, you typically don't have any big gators. So as much as I don't like them, I guess having him out here isn't really hurting me that much. But he's slowly losing his fear, so I'm kind of wondering if somebody around here is feeding him. Got fish feeding in here. You got a little trough that comes in there between these two islands. I keep seeing a lot of strikes on top of the water out there. This is a good spot for both bluegill and bass. There's a few crappie in here too. So I'd imagine if the shad and stuff are feeding up in here, or gathering up in this little funnel, it's probably why they're crushing the top of the water. So we'll try a couple of different baits here and see if I can find one they like. I'll try this green curly tail. This is actually a little spinning bait rig for panfish, but I took the bigger, had a much fatter bodied grub on it and a heavier jig head. So we're gonna try this, see how this works. Probably gonna catch bass with it, but anything's better than nothing. Well, the wind has completely switched twice on us. So I'm gonna try to get over here and fish back with the wind a little bit. Drift the, every time it starts going a different direction, it seems like they just completely and totally quit feeding. So I'll go back up here and fish this bank to the left coming back. A lot of good spots in here with grass. I've caught a lot of bass and bluegill both in here. So I'm gonna try this, and then we're probably gonna move out to the other side where it's a little bit deeper. Let's see if they've gone down deep on us. No idea what this is. But he hit it in deep, deep, deep water. It's like probably a largemouth. Yep. Come on in here, son. Wow. Things would slow down dramatically till a little dink bass, but you're not getting any bites. Dinks are pretty good. And if you see that osprey, top of that tree right there, I want to get him in the frame because we can't look at the camera. If he's hanging out right here, there's obviously something to eat. There he is. That's probably another bass. Yep, another small bass. Probably title this video Dink Fishing. Tiny, tiny. Let's put him back. That's the second time I've seen something running bait up right there. I'm gonna slip over here and see if I can't give him something that looks appetizing. The osprey keeps circling, so obviously he sees something too. Right there. okay with this so far. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a little bit different bait on it. Got good water clarity. This been chewed on pretty good, so got some a little more natural look to it. There we go. Baby shad, monkey milk. I have no idea what monkey milk means. I've never seen it. I don't think I want to. Well, first trip out with this GoPro Black. Really like it. It comes with a battery that you can remove, which is much better option than the silver or the white. I bought the silver because I didn't think I needed much more than that, but these things only last about 2 hours. If you're going to be doing longer videos for your YouTube channel, you're probably going to need the ability to change batteries, although I got to tell you, out here on the water, it's not easy, and the last thing I want to do is drop one of those over the side. So probably would be more practical if I was in my boat. Of course, if I'm in my boat, I'm probably going to be using the DSLR or the other Canon camera. But all in all, liking the GoPro so far. Got probably about 20 minutes of battery left on it, so I'm going to work this shoreline real quick and then probably call it a day for dink fishing, which is still better than sitting in the house and not catching anything at all. Well, by the time I turn the GoPro off to save a little battery, I hang a pretty decent fish. Fighting like a bass. Don't want to end up in the bushes. Fighting like a decent bass too. Yeah, he's not bad. Not big by any stretch. Then again, we haven't been catching anything big out here today, except for the first one was pretty decent. Switched over and put a pink triple tail on here. Pretty good bait. Hopefully I can get it in the camera lens. So, another small bass. I don't know how many that makes for the day, but a lot of fun to catch, even if they're not big. Once again, another Walmart rod, Zebco Fin Commander. This is a 5'6" light action rod. Perfect for throwing these little tiny baits and catching these little tiny bass. Well, I'm gonna make a couple more casts around this side of the island. The geese have just taken over. You can see them over there. That's a usually pretty good spot for bass and bluegill, but you can't do anything. They're over fighting. I guess they're getting ready for nesting in the spring. They kind of take this island over whenever that happens, but it sounds like they're dive bombing each other out there, and no point in fishing there. So I'll make a few more casts around the edge of the island, but I think probably not going to do any good on the bluegill. I've been catching them later in the evening, but maybe catch another small bass or two. If not, we'll take it to the house. Till next time, thanks for watching.